Libra, happy birthday! Here's your little birthday special I'm going to put together for you. This little spread here, we'll call it the self-love spread. So basically what it is since your intimate relationships often mirror the relationship you have with yourself, it's important to understand and nurture yourself and treat yourself how and exactly how you would like others to treat you. Let's go and bless the deck and we'll get started. Guardian angels of love and light, ancestors, lost and known in the seas of time, please intercede this reading to provide Libra with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks, and please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay every single message as they're meant to be. Okay, Libra, so for the first position here, it's going to relate to your relationship to self. You get the Six of Water right here. So it's basically, what it's talking of is, what is your relationship with yourself like? I want to say, Libra, it has to do with being able to look at the better or the brighter side of things sometimes. Looking at relationships a lot, going to the past, looking at them, and always being able to somehow find it in you to forgive. Being able to look at the past, like when you actually look at it and go into that introspection, you look at it in terms of like, what was really good within the relationship. And when you look at those aspects, Libra, it's good because it helps you forgive a little bit faster. Sometimes it serves us, sometimes it doesn't. But I think it's a good trait to have, Libra. It makes you who you are, that you're able to always have that little childish spark, just to kind of always forgive. As we relate the Six of Cups or Six of Water to children sometimes, but it has to do with more of the innocence, of always somehow, Libra, allowing your heart to renew itself and be willing to renew itself, most importantly too, and accepting people for who they are and just moving forward with it. For your second position, for the parts of yourself that are easy to love, you got the Queen of Air or Queen of Swords here at the top. You're always willing to hear the other party out. You're always willing to keep that line of communication open and to not ever drop it. Like, some people can really hurt you, Libra, but a couple months, couple years go down the line, and you'll be like, whatever, let bygones be bygones. It's not that you don't care about who you are or about your feelings. It's just, let bygones be bygones, and it's like, whatever, it happened in the past. What are you going to do? We're going to keep mulling over it? I think, where you're able to do that, Libra, you're able to be honest as well. And to just keep that, I think that's the most important part. What I'm getting here is to keep that line of communication open, to also maintain it, and to always be willing to sit down and speak with people, and always checking in with people in terms of how are they doing. Always, I don't want to say making concessions, but yeah, I guess we'd say that, making concessions for people to make sure that they're okay. Always making sure to be fair, looking at aspects of everything, looking at both sides of things. Queen of Air can also represent someone who devoid their emotions to see the truth. And I feel, Libra, you do that. You have the tendency to do that. You are an air sign after all. But I feel like you're able to jump back from that, or to come back from that and say, okay, well, what is my heart saying at the same time? It's that even amount of assertiveness with love, and sometimes it can get a little crazy, the lines can get a little blurred, but the intention's good. Always, but I think the most important part is always willing to hear the other person out, always willing to talk things out and to find a solution, or at least meet in the middle somewhere. For your third position of disowned self, your shadow aspects, the parts of yourself that need more love and acceptance from you, just got the Five of Fire here, or the Five of Wands. When I see this position here, it's okay to say no, Libra, sometimes. It's okay if things get a little crazy and a little contentious because of a decision that you made regarding saying no. Also, Libra, like maybe standing up for yourself a little bit more. Also, fighting for causes, make sure that the cause is worth it. And also, Libra, if the cause is worth it and it pertains to you, it's worth fighting for, And I feel like you may need more love in that area in terms of like, it's okay to say no. You don't always have to make exceptions for people. You don't always have to do what the other party wants you to do. It's okay to say no. It's not being unfair. If you say no all the time, that's a whole different thing, but you don't normally. And I feel like when you don't say no all the time and you continually make the concessions and you continually look at the brighter side sometimes, even when you're not really supposed to, but when it happens, Libra, it can backfire on you. And you can end up doing things on like autopilot that you don't necessarily want to do. You need to accept that a little bit more in terms of saying no, it's okay, it's fine. And if you hold a conviction about yourself, and granted that it's appropriate and granted that it's immoral and it's not acceptable or it's so esoteric, that given that it's not unconventional and not unrealistic, why would you feel like you have to say yes? You have to think of it like this too, Libra. If the other person on the second party, the situation, whatever it may be for you, if they don't understand that we all need to, or we all have to say no sometimes, and they cast you out, make you feel like a pariah, make you feel like throw the guilt trip on you, that says a lot about that person's character. And then you must look at that and say, why are you still around those people? Because after all, you accept people for who they are. And for your fourth position, for release, in terms of judgments and exceptions that you need to release in order to be more loving to you, get the Moon card here. When the truth is maybe spread thin, or when we know that the other person isn't being completely honest, but yet, to keep the harmony, we kind of just want to just let bygones be bygones and just be like, oh, whatever, like that's something that you need to release. Because if you feel some type of way about it, obviously it's important, or it's something that requires your attention. You need to release that part of you, where that forgiving part, that tractable part of you, where you just kind of give in and it's just like, oh, okay. People sometimes can take advantage of you, Libra, and take advantage of your kindness, and people forget you're an air sign. Release expectations also, Libra, that people are going to be as nice as you are, or that people are going to do the things the way that you do. And that also, Libra, I'm picking up to dropping the judgment and the expectation, that people are always as fair as you, because they're not. And it's not that that's a problem for them or that that's an issue. Some people aren't as keen, or they don't pay attention to the things that you do. That's not a fault of their own. They're on a different path. They pay attention to different things. It's also accepting that as well, Libra. And remembering to sometimes put yourself first too. And also to, someone's lying and it's wrong, speak up and say it. Don't be involved in that lie. Don't be the perpetuator of that lie as well. Because you're all about fairness, and you're all about, liberty and doing what's right, making sure that everyone's okay with the decision. But when they lie to you, Libra, and you are like, whatever, you kind of move on from it and you accept it, that's not being fair. And the one moral that you have in terms of actually being fair, not upholding it regarding yourself, says a lot about someone. So I feel like that's what you need to release, Libra. And for your fifth and final position, for more love, for something loving and nurturing that you can do for yourself right now, we have the Wheel of Fortune. This is a beautiful placement, Libra, and even the card that popped out for it. It has a lot to do with giving yourself props, like every now and then. Being fair is a lot of work. It takes a lot of consideration for the other person. I think that people fail to see that sometimes. They fail to see that whenever we make concessions, we're making it not just for the person, but we're putting ourselves in that position where it requires more work on our end. It's something to add to our library of memories. To remember not to do this, not to put this on this, or not, because you don't want to upset people. Things work out the way that they do. We don't always have to step in. We don't always have to make it best for everyone else. Sometimes, Libra, like optimistic, and keeping and being optimistic, and like having faith in the universe that it will take care of the situation. You need to remain optimistic yourself. The Wheel of Fortune can assist in reinforce your intention to bring increased abundance, good fortune and prosperity into your life. When you embody those traits, or you embody those morals, that's when you'll bring better and more into your life. I see that a lot more people are willing to make concessions for you in which you deserve, you know? Okay, Libra, hope you liked your little birthday special here. Happy birthday. Scorpio, happy birthday. Here's your little birthday special I'm gonna put together for you. This little spread here, we'll call it the self-love spread. So basically what it is since your intimate relationships often mirror the relationship you have with yourself, it's important to understand and nurture yourself and treat yourself how and exactly how you would like others to treat you. Let's go and bless the deck and we'll get started. Guardian angels of love and light, ancestors, lost and known in the seas of time, please intercede this reading to provide Scorpio with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks, and please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relate every single message as they're meant to be. Okay, Scorpio. So for your first position, which stands for relationship to self, what is your relationship with yourself like? You got these 6 of fire here. You have a lot to say and you have a lot to teach. And you have a lot of love to give. You need to make time for yourself as well, though, so that you can get yourself in order in terms of being proud of yourself. And when you do that, Scorpio, and you fuse those ends together in terms of being proud of yourself inwardly and outwardly and expressing that, though, so people can see it. I'm not saying, drop your secretiveness. It makes you very special as to who you are. But at the same time, Scorpio, people then don't understand who you are. And then in turn, people can then maybe say, ooh, what's going on with him? He looks very secretive. He looks deceptive. And no, you're not at all. You just keep things to yourself, It's not a bad thing. But at the same time, Scorpio, you have to be proud of yourself alone in your own room, and also proud of yourself in front of other people. And it's okay to do that. And it's okay that it's also okay to be proud of yourself, of course, but it's also okay to be vulnerable in front of other people so that they can then see that in you and they can feel comfortable with pleasing you and also giving you your props. That's what this card represents for you in terms of your relationship with yourself. You're proud of yourself, but only in the privacy of your own home, It's still a good thing, don't get me wrong. But the card is relationship to yourself, so right on. For your second position of admirable qualities, the parts of yourself that are easy to love. You got the 8 of Swords here, or the 8 of Air. The first thing that came to my mind was, a lot of people would look at this card and be like, oh my God, it's a card of being trapped and choosing to be trapped. I don't look at it like that in this position. The loyalty, where you're willing to love to the very end. And whether that's comes out great or comes out bad or whatever the case may be, you love to the end. And even if that's willing, Scorpio, to keep yourself trapped and to trap yourself in something, because the emotions run so deep, Scorpio, that they sometimes, work against you at times. And it is all in the name of love. But I do feel, Scorpio, like that card, or this card, the 8 of Swords, that's an admirable trait, because not too many people can love to that extent, or to that, to the depths of that level. A lot of people aren't willing to go there, nor do they have the passion to go there. But I feel like you do, Scorpio, and it's very easy for you to go there and to love that deep, which is a good thing. For your third position, for disowned self, your shadow aspects, the parts of yourself that need more love and acceptance from you, you get the Messenger of Fire, or the Knight of Wands. To always remember, to accept those parts of you that you may not see as being lovable or viable. And that includes the passion that you have, and it's there. The passion is always there. It's the depths of your emotion as well. It's what fuels you. It's okay to be creative at times. It's okay to love yourself like that, and to be okay with that other part of you. But also, Scorpio, we have to remember that we need to accept those parts of us, right? And the shadow side of us. And I feel like the part that needs more love here, Scorpio, is you being okay with maybe you being the oddball. And people looking at you and saying, oh my God, that guy goes to the very end. You know what I mean? Searching for, I don't say that high, it kind of sounds a little too much, but searching for that something, which you're always searching for, that something that's going to complete you and help you, and, you know, and that's going to project you to move forward. I mean, you know, you are the sign of transformation. So I feel like transformation is something that is ongoing, and you're always on the hunt, or you're always moving forward in terms of trying to find something. And I feel like that's the Knight of Wands. You know, he's someone that's very ambitious, someone who moves forward, someone who doesn't necessarily know what the outcome is going to be, but nor do they care. You know, because the passion runs that high. And I feel like in this position, it's good to accept that part of you. And it's good to be okay with it and really not care what other people think when it comes to that. For your fourth position, for release, for judgments and expectations that you need to release in order to be a more loving person, or more loving to yourself. You got the High Priestess here. When I see this, I want to say, Scorpio, that, you know, sometimes our intuition, it's always usually on point. Don't get me wrong. And it's always good to trust it. That's why it's there, you know? But I feel sometimes, Scorpio, that, and you're very intuitive sign, you're a water sign. And I feel that sometimes the emotions, which is kind of like intuition, you know? It's a little bit more of just, it is emotion. It's a little bit more raw though, you know? Sometimes our intuition can be off, Scorpio. You know, and we can kind of judge things. And I feel like it's maybe from past hurts sometimes. And I also feel like we need to release those preconceived notions sometimes. And also maybe, Scorpio as well, maybe staying quiet in certain situations by not staying so quiet. Because then, Scorpio, people then think you're sort of like the High Priestess, where she has the knowledge of it all. You know, she holds secrets, but it's not necessarily secrets like to malign someone or to hurt someone. I never really noticed it, Scorpio, but you are a lot like the High Priestess. You know, you guys know a lot of things. You guys are very wise about a lot of things. And you guys hold a lot of things in or to yourself. And people can judge that if they don't understand your, you know, your demeanor, if they don't understand your characteristics. They can see that as being deceptive, but it's really not. And some people see the High Priestess as being deceptive sometimes. She's a keeper and holder of secrets. And that's who you are, Scorpio. That's your ultimate ego right there. And it's not a bad thing. I never thought about that, Scorpio. You do embody a lot of the High Priestess traits. That's interesting. For your fifth and final position, for more love, something loving and nurturing that you can do for yourself right now. In this deck, it's temptation, but this is the Devil card. I feel, Scorpio, like when I see this card here, I feel like you can release yourself from the chains of the past. You know, don't hold yourself down to experiencing new things because of fear or because of what happened in the past. I know that's easier said than done, but I feel like you can release yourself from that and release yourself from your own demons. You know, Scorpio, because the last thing you want is someone perceiving you or you looking like you can be the devil, you know, like not with the horns, but you know what I mean? Like just the characteristics of one, you know, someone who keeps people bound, someone who controls other people and things like that. And I know you don't want people to think that. But I feel, Scorpio, like unless you release some of those pent up emotions and release some of those not too proud moments in your life, and you don't allow them to hold you down, people won't perceive you to be like that, and you won't then become that. They those bad aspects, or those stuffed down aspects, those aspects you keep inside, and you allow it to, you know, to just wither inside of you. Like if you release that, you really don't know what happened. Good things can come from it. And if you really, Scorpio, think about this. If you show the person who you really are inside and it matches your outside, you never know. You never know, Scorpio, of the person you're hiding inside. Who can really and will really like and love that person? You never know unless you try. Okay, Scorpio, that concludes your little birthday special here. Hope you enjoyed it. Happy birthday. It's okay to be creative at times. It's okay to love yourself like that, and to be okay with that other part of you. But also, Scorpio, we have to remember that we need to accept those parts of us, right? And the shadow side of us. And I feel like the part that needs more love here, Scorpio, is you being okay with maybe you being the oddball. And people looking at you and saying, oh my God, that guy goes to the very end. You know what I mean? Searching for, I don't say that high, it kind of sounds a little too much, but searching for that something, which you're always searching for, that something that's going to complete you and help you, and, you know, and that's going to project you to move forward. I mean, you know, you are the sign of transformation. So I feel like transformation is something that is ongoing, and you're always on the hunt, or you're always moving forward in terms of trying to find something. And I feel like that's the Knight of Wands. You know, he's someone who's very ambitious, someone who moves forward, someone who